I'm not going to start a timer this time because it's on there, but just
okay.
to let you know.
All right, that's fine. I wasn't ever sure why you were using the timer anyway.
I don't know why I was using the timer either. It was kind of dumb.
Hello, I'm Erin.
I'm Paige.
This is Pixel Perfect Podcast.
Welcome back. Episode 3.
Episode 3, which is an episode no one's going to listen to because they've never heard of the topic. They're going to be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Hey, I don't know. Maybe there's like some niche fans out there.
There might be. I mean, I'm a niche fan.
I kind of feel like I am now. Like, honestly, with the book at least. But we can get into that.
Okay. So we're going to talk about Nick and Norah's Infinite Playlist today. We're going to talk about the movie and the book because there was an adaptation. But we're going to start off first by talking about Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, which, spoiler alert, neither of us have seen yet.
Yep.
I'm watching it tomorrow. It's currently Saturday of opening weekend. I'm watching it tomorrow.
I'll see it eventually. Not sure when, but yeah.
Yeah, I had to take work off. We bought tickets like weeks ago, and Cody was texting me.
That's smart.
My husband was like texting me like, "You're taking work off. We're gonna go." And I was like, "Okay."
I mean, it's probably the only way to make sure you like get a good seat, because I'm sure it's gonna be absolutely packed.
Yeah. So I mean, you book seats for the most part now.
That's true. A lot of theaters are like making you do assigned seats.
So let's start with your basic opinion of The Last Jedi.
Oh, I hated it.
Okay.
I didn't like it as a Star Wars movie. I didn't like it as a movie on its own. The whole time I was sitting there, me and Brendan were just ragging on it the whole time. I could not get into it. So,
okay.
Don't hate me, internet.
There's a lot of people that agree with you, so it's gonna be when people find out how we feel about the prequels that there's gonna be problems.
Oh God, right?
So, I have complicated feelings about The Last Jedi. So my first thing is that I think that as a movie, it works as a prequel. I mean, not as a prequel, as a sequel, as a part of a series. It doesn't.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
I think that's a fair assessment. Like, my taste might just be different. So to me, I was like, no, I hate this. But I think that was an opinion I heard a lot, like around like reviews that I read about The Last Jedi, was that I kept seeing things like, oh, like it was a good movie. It just like maybe didn't make sense in terms of like what it was following.
Well, yeah, it didn't leave a lot to follow either. It was kind of everything was just cut off, and it kind of just was like, we don't care about the sequel. Boom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I hated it when I first saw it, and then I kind of came around because I watched a lot of Patrick Willems, who everyone should watch, by the way, on YouTube, and Nebula. But yeah, so obviously the movie just came out yesterday, so we only have projected opening weekends. Right now it's projected to have made $40 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's projected to make $200 million over the weekend.
Is that global or U.S.?
I think it's just domestic, but I could be wrong. The numbers didn't say. I was on thenumbers.com, and I don't think it's specified. Do we know the
budget?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I always like comparing
definitely high.
The budget to like what they made. To me, that like that's the that's the mark of success.
That's definitely the. Oh, my keyboard's on Korean. There we go.
What?
I was learning Korean.
That's a fascinating way to go about that.
Well, because one of the characters in my book is Korean.
Oh, that's right.
He's Korean American, but he speaks Korean. So I kind of want.
Were you like trying to feel out what that feels like? That's
By the
cool.
way, learning Korean when your first language is English is like the hardest thing, and it's the same thing for like Korean speakers who are trying to learn English. The languages are so completely opposite.
Yeah.
But, sorry, I'll stop now. I'm done.
But we didn't take long to get down the hole.
Just fun fact.
Fun fact about Korean.
Be nice to your non-native speakers, especially if they're from speaking Chinese, Japanese, Korean.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult.
Anything where like the script is not using like
anything with a different alphabet.
Yeah.
Probably should be nice.
What is it? What is our alphabet? It's not. Is it Germanic? Is it a Latin alphabet? I don't know. I don't know shit.
All right, so the estimated budget was $200 million.
Okay. Oh, so they'll break even. That's
so
great.
They'll break even on their first weekend.
Oh.
Probably.
That's sad.
So, but I just...
And you said the Rotten
Tomatoes. Oh, yeah,
they're
making... Oh, sorry. I actually did write this down. I don't know why I was like, I don't know. So it's $40 million domestically, $59 internationally, so total projected right now is $99 million.
Wow. Yikes.
Yeah.
And you said the Rotten Tomatoes was what, 50-something%?
57 for critics, 86 for fans.
Oh my.
Which isn't great. There's a lot of mixed reviews out there, but I've heard for the most part from even good reviews that there's a lot of fan service.
Yeah. So I don't want to since it just came out, I don't want to put spoilers out there, but I read a very spoilery article because I love ruining things for myself.
Go for it.
What I got just from reading that article, it made me not want to go see the movie.
Yeah, I've heard. I watched fandom on YouTube their review, and they were basically just like, or Dan was basically like, I did not enjoy it. It was not good. Things didn't make sense. It was very kind of repeated
it
stuff.
Sounds incredibly convoluted and odd.
Yeah, and there's a very much, as you kind of could have expected, there's a very polarized reaction between people who liked The Last Jedi and people who didn't.
That's true.
Because the people who didn't like The Last Jedi see it as kind of like a course correction.
Yeah.
Whereas people who did are kind of just like, well, this sucks.
Well, I'm probably going to hate both, so no pleasing me.
But yeah, it's doing very well financially. It's not doing well critically.
Yeah.
Which I just think is interesting. I'm gonna write a blog post about it after I go see it. Tomorrow.
So look out for that. That blog post will probably be out before this episode's out. So
it will be out.
Actually, yes, it will be. So you can find that in the blog section of our website.
So this entire section is basically pointless, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Woo! That's what you get for filming ahead of time.
Okay. So moving on to
the main topic.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the book or the movie first?
Shit. I don't know.
Which one are you more like?
I really liked the book. I liked the book a lot.
All right,
literally
let's do book first.
We watched that movie. I went home and read it before bed, the whole thing in one sitting.
It's very short.
Like when you joked about me coming back and being like, we should just film it tomorrow because I want to talk about it. I had read it already. I could have come back and felt it that next day. So yeah, I devoured it.
It helps that it's a short book. It's not very long.
For sure.
It was actually, fun fact, it was written over a summer.
Yes, and then I forget the author's name.
Rachel Cohn and David Leviathan.
Didn't she?
I think that's how you pronounce it.
I think she approached him and was like, I need a male. I need someone to write the male perspective.
Yeah, so she was like, we should do a back and forth book between me writing a woman and you writing a man. And he was like, okay, let's do it. And they wrote it over the course of the summer. So it came out in 2006. Rachel Cohn, I don't really know her work. I don't think it's incredibly popular. She wrote a series called Annex and a series called Steps.
Yeah, I looked through her bibliography and I was like, I've never heard of any of this.
Yeah. Meanwhile, fun fact, I worked as a teen librarian for a while, and David Leviathan is everywhere. So he wrote Every Day, he wrote Boy Meets Boy, he wrote Two Boys Kissing.
I don't know those. I know his name. I must have read or heard of something by him, but I don't know those ones.
Yeah, they're very popular.
Yeah.
And they're very well known. Especially because, gay. So... Sorry.
A good source of LGBT literature.
Exactly. It's great representation. Yeah. So it's really funny because it's in his frequently asked questions about whether or not he's gay.
Is it really?
Like his frequently asked questions is like, "Are you gay?" And he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "That's brilliant."
Yeah. That's an easy FAQ. Yes. Next question.
Well, because I think that there's a lot of questioning out there, too, about who has the right to right representation, which you and I have talked about before.
Yes, we have talked about that because, that's something that I've seen, some of my preferred authors struggle with because, I've liked the stories they wrote, but, maybe it wasn't their place to write the story. And it's difficult, especially when, you want to accurately, as a, straight person, and you want to accurately write something that's got, a normal cast of characters.
Right.
There's different, sexualities out there.
Right.
Making all of your characters straight is just, doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
But you feel weird writing their lives because it's you don't know their experiences.
It's not even, to be honest, because as a bisexual person, even then I'm like, am I doing this right?
Yeah.
It's even when you have the experiences, you're still it's hard to represent everyone.
Right.
So... I just came out to everyone listening. That's fun. Yay!
All
good. Okay, so your general thoughts then. So I've read this book several times. I owned the movie first. It was one of my favorite movies. I ended up reading the book. As soon as I discovered there was a book, I read the book. I read it a few times. And I love Nick and Norah.
Yeah.
Whereas you're completely new to this.
Yes, super new. I just loved it. I thought it was, and I didn't even realize it was two authors back and forth until after I read it and then looked more into it because I just bought it and then immediately started reading it. And it flows so well together, you don't really notice right away that there's like two people going back and forth.
Perfect.
The tone is spot on.
Yeah, they're perfect for writing together.
Yeah. I mean, some of the writing style wasn't my favorite. Like every once in a while, you'd get like a piece of dialogue. And you know how you have like, in between dialogue, you might have like the interjected thought from like your narrator or whatever. Sometimes that went on too long and I was like, oh my God, what were they talking about? Because it's been a page of interjected thought and I have no idea where this conversation left off. But that was just like little nitpicky things that bothered me. But I don't know, I loved it. I thought it was really cute. I enjoyed their story. I thought, even though compared to the movie, not a lot happens, it still felt fast paced. Like,
it's because they're just moving from one event to the other, but it's all one night. Yeah. So Nick and Norah, both the book and the movie, take place all in one night. Mm-hmm. And they kind of just like, things are constantly happening, and then it's also like they're constantly dealing with emotional stuff. So,
sorry, my nose is running like crazy. It's driving me nuts.
That sound you just heard was Paige trying very silently to grab a tissue.
Like sneaking away, like, okay, can I do this?
Yeah, but they're always constantly dealing with emotional stuff, so they're always constantly making emotional progress on top of the physical progress through, New York.
Right.
So we should probably give like a basic synopsis for those who have
smart.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
So Nick and Norah is a love story between, Nick and Norah, where they meet. Nick is in a queercore band, and he's having a gig, and he sees his ex-girlfriend, and then he's trying to avoid the ex-girlfriend, so he asks the woman next to him to be his girlfriend for 5 minutes, and that's Norah, and Norah's just like, yeah, let's do this.
Sure, why not?
Let's do this. And so they're both trying to get over their quote-unquote evil exes.
Yes.
While falling in love and going through New York.
And kind of like processing little bits of trauma, I feel like.
A little bits of trauma. Yeah. I think life, too, because, Norah thinks that she didn't accept going to Brown, and she thinks she's, going to South Africa, I think it is.
Yes. Yeah, on, oh, God, I forget the word for it, but it was like...
It's like, I'm going to butcher this so bad, but it's like kibbutz.
Yes, kibbutz? That's what it was. Yes. Because Norah's Jewish.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like the missionary version of Jewish.
I think so.
The Jewish version of missionary, like a missionary trip.
The Jewish version of missionary just sounds so bad. Okay. Everyone should probably research that on their own. Don't quote us on any of this.
Yes, absolutely.
Not the Jewish authority.
Please research everything we say. Even just because it's fun.
Yep.
I like Nick and Norah. I think it's really interesting because it's definitely like a book that expects you to get things. Do you know what I mean? Like
God, yes. The references left and right, and you're like, what?
And you can kind of get what's going on even if you don't catch the references, but it definitely is it's a bit of a hipster book.
A little, for sure. I mean, both the characters are like bragging about how straight edge they are, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so early 2000s in her.
It's very early 2000s.
It's fantastic.
So, and I like them. I like the two of them together. It makes sense.
Yes, I agree with that.
I do think the evil exes thing works a little better for Tall, which is Norah's ex, and it does for Tris, which is Nick's ex. Yeah, Tall sucks.
Like, fuck Tall.
Yeah.
But I did like Tris. Like, I didn't hate her.
Can we talk about Tris?
I mean, she's, like, I have problems with her, obviously, because, like, she cheats, and, like, I'm not okay with that. So, like, to me, it's still, like, she's kind of a shitty person.
She is kind of a shitty person.
But, like, the whole, I think it was a conversation she had with Norah. Obviously, giant spoilers, but this book came out in 2006, so whatever. But with that conversation she has with Norah explaining why she needed to break up with him, and it was kind of almost like, I think, without saying it, touching on like the manic pixie dream girl thing, being like, this dude idolized me and I wasn't into him, so I'm not going to string him along just to protect his feelings. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a good conversation to have.
And I think like, he moved too fast for me.
Yeah.
I had a right to step back and because this was too much for me. I was not planning, like, because the whole thing is like Nick's naming their children
Yes.
And, like, getting very, very serious, and and says that he loves her, and she's just like, nah, man.
Yeah.
We're not doing this anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you don't cheat on the person and then dump them. I think, if you're not into the relationship, like, you have every right to break up with a person, and, like, it's just, like, it's not healthy for him to keep pining over her the way he is. And so I think Triss as a character in the book was really interesting and provided, like, a much needed perspective on all that.
Depth in the book too, and the relationship between Nick and Norah also has depth in the book, because, like, there's this whole thing where Norah is talking about how she had a pregnancy scare.
Yes.
And Triss is the only, like, I forget what her best friend Caroline says, but it's something like, you're being paranoid.
Yeah.
And Tall is like, don't make any decisions without consulting me.
Yeah, so fuck Tall.
And Triss, right. And Triss is just like, all right, we're going to CVS. We're getting a pregnancy test. Yeah. We're going to Starbucks to pee on the stick.
She's like that steamroller friend everyone needs to, like, push you through to do something.
Yeah, and it's also, like, the idea that, Triss is in the Starbucks, buys her Starbucks, and then, like, looks away so that she can cry.
Yeah.
It's such a good...
Yeah, I like her.
I love her.
Yeah.
Like, I know that she's problematic.
Right.
But I fucking love her.
Yeah. Like, she definitely was a worthwhile character in that story.
She's got depth. Yeah. You know what I mean? She's complicated.
Right.
I think she's the most interesting character in the book. I'm absolutely obsessed with her.
No, really?
I love her. But this is probably a good transition into the movie, and we're going to talk about both simultaneously.
Absolutely.
Because it's impossible.
We're going to think of something, and it's going to be like, oh yeah, and then this happened, whatever.
Yeah, it's impossible. So the movie, just to give some background, same story as... There's a lot of differences between the book and the movie.
Yeah,
but it's roughly the same story. It came out in 2008.
Can we just talk about how quickly that got picked up into a movie, by the way? Like, that book came out in 2006, and then the movie came out 2 years later.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Especially because I don't think it was an incredibly popular book.
No,
you know what I mean?
Not even like, it's like a novella.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nuts.
So it came out 2008, was directed by Peter Sollett, who does not have a lot of movie credits to his name. He's got something called Freeheld and Raising Victor Vargas. He's doing a Minecraft movie in 2022. He is writing and directing a Minecraft. That? Which I was like, none of these things work together. No. I don't understand how this. Yeah. The movie stars Michael Cera back when he was in literally every movie, and Kat Dennings, who is one of my favorite actresses of all time. Also Ari Grainer, which a lot of people know. She was in Whip It. She was in.
Is she the one who plays Caroline?
Yeah, she's the one who plays Caroline. And I like her a lot. So it made so it had a $10 million budget, and it made 33 total back. Okay. 31 domestically, 2 international, and then it also made 10 million in video sales.
Oh, okay.
So it was respectable.
Yeah.
Considering that its budget was...
You can almost call it a cult classic kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it didn't do awful, it didn't do great.
Yeah.
But it did well enough that it's, like, respectable.
It made money.
It made money. It made back. It tripled its budget.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So that's something. So there's the people in this movie have much less depth than the people in the book.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is I understand that adaptations are different, and it's a lot harder to stuff, character development for multiple people in a movie than it is in a book. But they kind of turn people like Trish into caricatures.
Oh, after watching the movie and then reading the book, I got so mad. I was like, what was the point of that? Like, what did you achieve by turning her into this, like, one-dimensional piece of crap who, like, now you hate by the end of the movie?
Well, it was very much like, it's more like they were turning Norah into the epitome of not all girls.
Yeah.
Not like other girls, excuse me. Oh my God,
that's such a good way to put it.
Because Caroline's, like, this very sexy drunk, and...
Yep.
Triss is this one-dimensional backstabbing bitch.
Yep.
And so, but Norah is the epitome of not like other girls, brilliant, unusual, quirky. And you're kind of just like, it's almost like everyone had to suffer, all the women specifically had to suffer in this movie so that she could be what she was going to be.
Yeah.
That she could be the ideal.
Which is just, ugh.
So Triss in the movie is just, she's awful.
She sucks.
She has no redeeming qualities.
No.
She's obsessed with the men around her. She can't be alone.
Yeah, and, like, as soon as Nick starts being interested in Norah, she's all like, oh, I gotta have what I can't
Oh yeah,
I
she
want what I
like
can't
goes
have,
after
and
Nick.
she's like manipulative and chasing him around, and oh,
Which
God.
is funny because in the book she just like wipes her hand of him completely.
Yeah, she's like, oh my God, get this man out of my life.
She's
I'm
like,
over
I
this.
don't care anymore. We're done with
She
this.
literally gives her blessing to Norah, and is like, yeah, you guys would be cute together.
She gives them blessing to both of them.
Right?
Really. She's just kind of just like,
She's
you
like-
guys like each other. Please get together already.
She's like almost puppeteering it a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And she's also like alone at points in the book where she, you know, what she just shows up at the restaurant by herself.
Yeah.
And she's just like, yeah, this is fine. Whereas in the book, like in the movie, she cannot be alone. She has to have a guy with her at all times.
Yes.
Which is very weird. And she also has zero redeeming qualities.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't stand her.
There's nothing to her. Because even that conversation in the Korean deli, which is
God.
so cleansing in the book.
Yeah.
Which is so nice in the book because it's a conversation you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
In the movie, it's just her making fun of Norah for not being able to have an orgasm,
Yeah.
which is, I don't know where that came from.
Well, I didn't understand that either because in the book, there's like a throwaway comment from Nora's narrative about her never having had an orgasm just because she can't be pleased by Tall because he fucking sucks.
Right.
But it somehow gets convoluted into the movie into this like
Nora can't
character
have
flaw.
Yeah.
And it's odd. I hated that moment
It's
so
very,
much.
it's very, very odd. And it also, like I said, it takes a very meaningful conversation that was in the book and turns it into something that wasn't good.
It was icky.
Yeah, and it doesn't make Tris look good because it just sounds like she's like, you know, being mean to Norah.
Right.
And trying to keep them apart. And it just, I didn't like what they did to Tris. It's the most...
Yeah, it was... Because they changed a lot of things in the movie. Primarily, Caroline's much more of a side character in the book, and then they kind of turn her into more of a major plot point in the movie by having her, like, run around New York drunk and they're trying to find her or whatever to, like, kind of escalate the action.
Yeah.
So I just, like, they already changed so much, so, like, I don't know, like, why?
I feel like they think that because there's internal, dialogue missing from the movie, they were like, oh, we need to fill space. So in the book, Caroline is Nora's best friend. She ends up drunk, and Norah sends her home with Nick's best friends.
Yeah.
And they just take her home.
Yeah, I think the most is that they
take
get
her
lost.
home. Yeah, they take her home. They get lost at one point, but they get there, and Nora's mother makes them eggs. Like,
right?
It's just like
it's so wholesome.
It's just this nice casual thing. And in the movie, Caroline wakes up, does not know where she is, thinks she's in a van about to get raped.
Yeah.
Escapes screaming, and then just wanders around New York trying to find Norah and throwing up and things.
And has the most disgusting 5 minutes of screen time in a subway bathroom.
Yes.
That was next level.
It's the worst. And it gets really tedious at points where you're just kind of just like,
Like, it just seemed unnecessary. Like, even the book had less going on, and I felt like it was faster paced. I was like, I don't even care that they're just moving from one location to the next and having conversations. Like, it was wrought with, like, emotional and sexual tension, so you were just like, yes, this is great.
We just gotta briefly talk about the scene in the hotel, because it's my favorite scene in any book ever. Of, like, the couple walking in on them and
the
turning
older
on
couple?
the lights.
Yes! And doesn't the old lady wink at them or something?
Yeah, she winks at Norah as she's leaving. So what happens is Nick and Norah are in a hotel, and they're just by the ice machine and are caught in a relatively sexually precarious position.
Yes, they're having a very heavy makeout session that's going to lead to some naughty
stuff.
things.
Yeah, and this older couple turn on the lights and see them, and are just like, "Oh my, what is happening here?" And Nick's just like, "Can you turn on the lights when you leave?" Which is like my favorite.
This is perfect. Just no shame.
Which they cut out of the movie completely.
Yeah, and replaced it with that really awkward scene in, like, the recording studio, I feel like. That makes no sense.
Yes,
I
that
can't
scene.
tell what the hell's going on.
Which doesn't. And they're just, like, they cut a lot of side characters, which is fine. They kind of turned. There's, like, this gay burlesque show that they go to.
Yeah,
and it's very important in the book, where it's where the Where's Fluffy show happens.
Yes.
It's where he meets Tony and has, like, a great conversation with them. And then I'm going to use them because it's not specified in the book.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. So has a great conversation with them, and it's a really important place. And in the book, they kind of just turn it into, like, a set piece.
Yeah, when they go to, like, the what is it, the nunnery or something like that, and they're having like, or it's a church, and they have like the
Yeah.
kind of like a, it is a little bit of a burlesque show, but it's more.
Yeah, and they find Carolyn there.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more of a background thing, and it doesn't feel important, and it's not really like, which kind of bothered me. But yeah, I do really like Tom and Dev.
Yes.
Who are Nick's best friends.
I do like them a lot too.
And I like that they kept the I want to hold your hand scene.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, there's this scene
was cute.
where it's Dev in the book and Tom in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about how other bands wanted to make it about sex or pain, but love is really just about like, I want to hold your hand.
Yeah, like what the Beatles say.
And I just think it's a really cute moment, and I like that they kept it in the movie.
I think it's perfect for grounding the movie and like the book into the young adult, because it is like a young adult story, but like you might lose sight of that, I feel like, a little bit with how sexually charged it is in like the language.
I think
you know, constant punk rock references that nobody gets.
I think it also grounds it in kind of like the main book's message.
Yeah.
Too, which is just about like connection and love and taking things slow.
Yeah,
and just being like, you know, emotionally present.
Right.
I
agree with that.
Yeah. The exes are
fuck tall. I'm gonna keep saying that. I have it on a timer. Every 10 minutes I'm just fuck tall. Just to remind you, I hate him.
Actually, I think you have literally said it every 10 minutes. Because I'm staring at the timer right now. We're at 26 minutes. I think you have said it every 10 minutes.
Perfect.
Multiple times every 10 minutes.
Yeah,
but.
yeah.
So, in the book, it makes less sense why he hates Triss. I think it works. It makes sense that he does hate her, but I think it makes less sense. Where in the movie, you're just like, wow, you're a demon.
Yeah.
You should hate her. But Tall, book and movie, you're just like, fuck this guy.
Yep.
Fuck
He's
this
the
guy.
worst. He's the classic emotionally manipulative, gross boyfriend. And is he older than her?
Yes.
Okay, so he's lording that over her as well.
Yeah, because he dropped out of Columbia to go to his kibbutz. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't
either. So someone please tweet at us and tell us how to pronounce it.
Tell us how stupid we are.
Yes. Please add us and correct us so that we can do better in the future. So he dropped. So he must have been in college when he already. So he was already in college, dropped out, and then comes back after almost a year. So
the power balance there is already bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also like there's this line where she talks about how they never really had conversation because he just manifestoed at her and she listened.
Right.
And their sexual imbalance is like definitely there.
Oh yeah.
Where,
for sure. Like it's all
in
about
many
him.
ways. Yeah, it's all about him.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what she's doing. He's making fun of her for not knowing what she's doing. It's just awful. You just want to take Norah and you want to hug her and shake her and be like, fuck this guy. I mean, she figures it out.
She does. It's just you feel so bad, like reliving like with her like what she went through in the book with him.
Yeah.
If that made sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I felt more unsure every time a word came out of my mouth with that sentence, and I was like, oh God, what am I saying right now?
Yeah, I like both things. I just feel like the book works better than the movie.
I think so, yeah.
And you almost kind of have to forget that they're the same thing.
Yeah.
Because they just...
Yeah, because you don't, when you're reading the book, you just, like, you don't picture Michael Cera.
No!
Yeah.
Which is actually a good point. Like, Kat Dennings, I think, was well cast.
I think so, too.
Michael Cera works in the movie as written.
Yes, that is a great way to put it.
I think Michael Cera, for the way it was written for the movie, is well cast.
Yeah.
I think if you were writing Nick as he is in the book, Michael Cera would not be well cast.
No, absolutely not. There's a certain level of, I feel like, confidence that book Nick has that Michael Cera just does not portray.
Michael Cera's never been... Well, I mean, Scott Pilgrim, he was good at portraying... Well, no, he was kind of a mess in Scott Pilgrim. Michael Cera just constantly portrays a mess.
Yeah, like, I think the most confident I've ever seen him in anything is The End of the Fucking World, where he's a crazy drug addict and he dies in the first 10 minutes or something like that.
Oh, that was a weird...
That's a messed up movie.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Weird tangent. That took forever to get made.
Why?
Because they just, like, did not want to sign off on it. So I was watching, has anyone ever, Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner, I think it's called. It's
Okay.
the, like, sequel, quote unquote. It's like a side thing to Ugly Delicious on Netflix.
Okay.
And basically what happened is Dave Chan, I'm trying to remember his name. Yeah, David Chan goes on a Canadian road trip thing with Seth Rogen, and, like, they just, like, eat food all day and talk about shit.
That's
and
really
Seth Rogen
weird.
was talking about how, like, he was like, we had every person sign on for that movie. We had the script and everything ready to go, and it took forever to get it signed off on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he was like, we had everybody. We had everything going for us, and they wouldn't sign off on it. So it took a lot for that movie to get made.
Can you blame them?
Yeah. But Michael Cera was very well good in that movie. To bring it back around to what we were talking about to begin with.
His one shining moment of, I mean, I haven't really seen him in a lot besides Scott Pilgrim and Nick
Scott
and
Pilgrim
Norah.
is so. By the way, just PSA, everyone in the world should watch Scott Pilgrim.
Oh my god, I watched it for the first time after, like, years and years, I think a couple months ago, and I was like, why don't I watch this movie annually? Like, I just love it.
We should do Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, we should.
All right, we're gonna do Scott Pilgrim now.
Woo!
Next episode in a movie you've probably never heard of, Scott Pilgrim.
Love it.
We could just do. Oh my god, how am I forgetting his name? The director. The name I know his name, like.
Google time.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be so mad. Because as soon as I see it, I'm gonna be like, yeah, of course.
Well, I don't know, so.
Edgar Wright. Fucking hell. Edgar Wright.
Shame on you
So-
for a thing I didn't know.
Edgar Wright is an absolutely brilliant director.
Okay.
And
He did Scott Pilgrim?
He did Scott Pilgrim.
Okay.
His attention to detail is crazy. He did
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
That whole
okay.
trilogy,
So yes,
he did
I
that.
love this man.
Yeah. No, he did that whole trilogy. So we should just do him, because that would be a great episode. Even
Love
though
it.
everyone in the world has done Edgar Wright, we should do
another one.
we should just do it
again.
anyway.
Yep. It's time for a refresh.
Okay. Do we have anything else to talk about? This might be a short episode.
I don't know. Where did you leave off on your? Aaron is guiding this because I'm a hot mess today. So
That's okay. And I mean, this is also like this were
I guess, like, what are your final thoughts? Like, I mean, I feel like both the movie and the book are worth consuming.
I would absolutely agree.
absolutely say read the book. Oh, if you're gonna do one, read the book. But I would do
So
both.
which would you suggest, because you watched the movie and then read the book, so
Yeah.
which would you suggest if you're going to consume both?
Like, in what order?
Yes.
I don't know. I didn't really have a strong opinion about it because in my mind, I did a pretty good job detaching the two. So
Okay.
I feel like you might want to watch the movie first just because you might be disappointed if you read the book first, because I personally think the book
that's
is
a good
better.
point.
So
Yes.
if you watch the movie with, like, less expectations and then you read the book and you're like, oh yeah, this is better, you know? And then
Yeah.
you can enjoy both thoroughly.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think
Yeah.
so. If you're going to do both, watch the movie.
Yeah, because
Then
I think
read
if
the
I had
book.
read the book before we watched it, I would have been sitting there the whole time like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, why did they change all this?
Yeah, like I keep saying, adaptations, you're going to end up changing stuff. You have to. The two mediums of books and movies are completely different. I mean, if you've ever been upset about an adaptation, you kind of got to get over it, because they're just, like, the mediums are so different. The things that work on paper absolutely, sometimes do not work on screen.
It's funny, I feel like the more I write, the more I understand that, even though, like, I have no experience in the film world, but it just sometimes, like, I'll have the moment in my head, like a movie scene, and then I'm like, whoa, like, translating that to writing is so different in, like, how I'm going to convey it, and, like, I'm starting to have more sympathy for, like, why they have to change certain things in movies, because things on the page and things that happens in people's minds, it just, like, doesn't translate to the screen very
and it's
often.
not even just that. The movie also has advantages that the book does not have.
Exactly, yeah.
Like acting and facial expressions and being able
Yeah.
to communicate things.
Body language, the score, even.
Yeah, absolutely
yeah.
the score. Absolutely the score. So I just think you can't sit there and basically say, like, well, this adaptation is bad because it doesn't follow the book.
Right. Absolutely.
Unless you're talking specifically about a few things in Harry Potter, and then you're probably correct.
Oh God, talking about Harry Potter. No, J.K. Rowling needs to stop tweeting.
Oh, J.K. Rowling absolutely needs to stop
Someone
tweeting.
needs to take her phone away.
At the same time, you're kind of just like, well, at least I know what she is now.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's just, for those who are unaware, J.K. Rowling made some transphobic comments, which we are absolutely not here for.
Yeah, no.
I
can't believe she got all the backlash and like after I didn't hear about it until all the backlash erupted, and I was like, oh, I bet she deleted the tweet, and I was gonna go to her profile, and it was still there, and I'm like, oh my God,
no,
what is wrong with you?
She stands by her thing. I don't think she's ever regretted a single thing she's ever tweeted.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's just really, it's depressing. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hate the Harry Potter movies.
Do you really?
I mean, them.
You were like, the books were like your thing, so
yes.
Like I understand that. I think, when did the first movie come out? 2001?
I think so. I believe so, but don't hold me to it.
I think I started reading those books when I was like 7, so I think I was only a couple books in when the first movie came out. So to me, I was like, this is fantastic.
I liked them when I was younger, and well, not really. I pretended to like them when I was younger because I felt obligated to like them.
That sounds like so like you.
And then I got older and was like, why do I never want to watch these movies? And then I met my husband, and he was like, because they suck. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a good point.
My husband
suck.
hates them too, and like, he's never read the books and is a little more picky about the media he consumes, but he hates them, and I'm burnt out on them because my mom liked watching them so much that they were like on repeat in our house all the time, and I'm like, I never want to watch these ever again.
Yeah, David Yates is not a creative director.
No.
They should never have given most of the movies to him.
No.
But whatever. So going back to our original thing about how adaptation...
Right.
So...
that was our point.
But I do think that there are parts to the Nick and Norah adaptation that do not work.
Yes,
and
I would agree.
do not make any sense.
Yeah. Like Triss's entire characterization.
Especially because, like, it just... I mean, the book is really about everyone's relationship to each other.
Yeah.
So you have Nick and Norah, and they're the primary core relationship.
Right.
But you're also dealing with Nora's relationship with Tal, Nora's relationship with Triss, Nora's relationship with Caroline.
Yeah.
Caroline, Nora's, and Triss's relationship all together.
Yeah.
And then you have Nick and Tom, Nick and Dev, and then all of their relationship together.
Yeah.
And Nick's relationship with Triss.
Yep.
And it's just like there's so many relationships going on. It's all about those relationships and how they function. And the movie just strips all of that away and makes it entirely about Nick and Norah.
Absolutely.
Which is just less interesting, I think.
And I feel like it feels more realistically YA in the book, the way it's structured like that, versus like when we were watching the movie, I kept forgetting they were high school students. Like to me, it could have just been
they don't really like high school students at all. Yeah.
Wandering New York.
Which is partly, goes to the actor problem, which is that Michael Cera and Kat Dennings do not look like high school students.
And I don't believe that they were high school
and
students.
Nobody who was cast in that movie looks like a high school student.
Absolutely not.
And doesn't act like a high school student.
Yeah.
So you do forget.
Yeah.
So, but I just
stop that.
the Caroline. I will never understand why they turned Caroline into what they did.
Yeah.
Because in the book too, she's less like she likes to drink, but she's not like a crazy drunk.
Yeah, like she's clearly with it enough that she's not freaking out with random men or bringing her home. She's like, oh, Norah passed me off to these guys because she trusts them, so like I'm okay. Like she's not like blackout drunk, waking up in the van, being like, how the hell did I get here?
Yeah. And I think, what was I about to say? This happens every episode where I'm just like, I was about to say something insightful and now I've lost it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't understand the Caroline decision. She's not nearly as put together. And I think that their relationship makes more sense in the book because in the book, this is not insightful. At all. I remembered what I was going to say, and it's not insightful at all.
Oh, perfect.
But I don't know who came up with the Caroline likes to barf in the same places.
Oh my God,
because
was
whoever they are, which I'm assuming was the writer, is just a bizarre person.
Yep.
Just absolutely
likes
bizarre.
To barf in the same, like, honey, take her to AA. My God.
She's definitely an alcoholic in the.
Yeah.
Lorene Scarfaria.
That's a name. Scafari? Yeah, Lorene Scafari. I think that sounds right.
Yeah. So she wrote the screenplay.
Damn it, Lorene.
I don't know what's... She wrote Hustlers, which is interesting. Seeking a Friend at the End of the World. So she's actually got some pretty good credits. I do not... Oh, and she played the drunk girl in the Yugo in the movie. Remember when Seth Meyers...
Oh, that's right.
That was
when
her.
They were making out in the back seat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Seth Meyers cameo, by the way.
Seth Meyers cameo, Andy Samberg cameo.
Yes! The cameos in this movie are perfect.
Who is it? John Cho, I believe?
Yes. I'm pretty sure you're right about that.
Yeah, John Cho.
It's just like an
is in that movie.
It's a bunch of...
There's a bunch of cameos.
Yeah.
Because this is back in 2008. Andy Samberg wasn't really Andy Samberg yet. Seth Meyers wasn't really Seth Meyers yet. John Cho was kind of John Cho.
Yeah.
So it's just like there's so many people in this movie.
It's great. I mean, despite how much we just ragged on it, I would recommend watching it. Like, it's a fun time.
It's a
enjoyable
fun
movie.
time, and it's good for what it is.
Yeah.
Which it's just it lacks the same amount of depth.
Yeah. I feel like I wonder if it was something to be adapted now, if it would have been different, because I feel like we have...
How do you adapt something so 2006 now?
Oh, I don't think you could. But I just, like, let's say, like, the book was written, like, 2 years ago, and, like, they were adapting it now. I feel like it might have had the chance to be better, because I feel like people are a lot more vocal on the internet now about female relationships and, like, not destroying those.
Yeah, no. There's definitely a whole aspect in the movie of, like, jealousy and stuff. Like, there's no... Like...
Yeah.
It passes the Bechdel test.
I mean...
But that's like the bare minimum.
Can we talk about the moment in the bathroom with the kissing thing between Tris and Norah?
I love that moment.
I was like, damn!
Yeah, there's this moment where Nora's talking to Tris in the bathroom of a restaurant, and she's just like, I don't know what I'm doing sexually, and Tris is like, I will show you.
Literally.
And just does.
And
And you're just like, this is great.
It was fantastic.
It was great.
Like, what a moment.
But yeah, I don't think Nick and Norah make as much sense in the movie as they do in the book.
I would agree with that. There was a little bit of chemistry lacking for me in
between
the movie.
Kat Dennings and Michael Cera. Yeah, I would agree, and I think the dialogue is less instinctual, natural.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think they could have stolen more.
For sure, especially because the dialogue in the book is fantastic.
It's just, and it's really, you can tell they have, like, the chemistry is from the dialogue.
Yeah.
That you feel the chemistry from the dialogue. Like, there's this part where they're talking about having a three-way with E.T.
Yes.
and she's like, if we were having a three-way with E.T. at the Motel 6, who would be on top and who would be on the bottom? And he's just like, Motel 6, can't we class it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Can't we go to an actual, like, hotel? And it's just like, it's just well done.
Yeah, it's great. So you should read the book.
But
watch the movie first.
Watch the movie, read the book, tell us your thoughts.
Yes. We
like engaging with people, which we haven't really had a chance to do
No.
yet because no one listens to us.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Maybe
I feel like we need to tweet more.
Probably. I think we need to do more tweets of, like, news and fandom and stuff and kind of...
And once we get some blog posts out there.
The blog posts will help.
Maybe by the time you listen to this episode, we'll be like, Twitter pros. Did you like my quote that I picked for the Pokemon episode?
I was like, she picked the most embarrassing quote for me she possibly could have.
I couldn't help it. I was listening back to it, editing it, and I was like, this is what I'm going to use.
For those of you who saw the Pokemon Sword and Shield quote, I swear to God, I know Pokemon things.
You know Pokemon things way more than I know Pokemon things.
But, like, the moment does not make it seem like I know Pokemon things.
No, I mean, to be fair, I didn't say what color was who in that picture. So.
Yeah, but if you listen to the episode, you know it's
very true. All good things.
All right. We good?
Yeah. What are we talking about next time? We decided.
Oh, yeah. We're doing specifically The Mandalorian.
Yes.
But we're gonna kind of do just a general thing of Disney Plus.
Yeah. Talk about how that's kind of been going.
Yeah. My husband got Disney Plus the second Mandalorian came out.
I held out for like 3 days, and then I was visiting family, and they were watching The Mandalorian, and I actually got hooked. So I was like, okay, well. Guess I gotta get Disney Plus now, and I've been binge watching Disney movies and stuff to right. But
yeah, the first night we got it, I was watching Ice Princess.
Oh wow, what a throwback!
I watched Cadet Kelly.
We'll have some good things to talk about for the next episode.
That's my taste.
Woo!
I had to watch Cadet Kelly because I wanted to see if it was still like if the ending scene was as badass as I remembered, and it is not.
No, not at all.
Okay.
All right.
So, we'll see you next time. I think the next episode comes out early January.
Something like that. This is coming out on the 1st. So Happy New Year!
Yes,
It's
Happy New
2020,
Year.
bitches.
New decade.
Impeach that fucker.
Let's do this.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.